ShartimusPrime. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hell whacking it, taking bad hits, taking back hits. Subscribe. You're not watching the Watcher.
Hey, what's up you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another Marvel Legends action figure review on the PulseCon 2021 exclusive retro vintage collection Venom. If you're trying to get your Marvel Legends, you can do so at big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below. And while you're down there, I ask you to please hit that like button, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. And a big thanks to Troy Collects Toys for making this video possible and finding this out in the wild. Really appreciate the love, brother. If you want to send that love back over his way, I hope you do so. Link in the description below. And this looks dope. I love the animated series Spider-Man, and yeah, that's kind of cool getting this version over here, even though it may not be the very most desired version, right? But again, I'm super stoked to see this on the Omega Red body mold. Nice image of Venom right over there from the show. Then you can see we get Venom spot varnished again on this side right over here, looking very cool. And then not much more at the bottom or on the top. And then this is already popped open, which I don't mind at all. And you can see that we get the Venom figure inside right over here, looking very, very cool, unopened or anything. Really appreciate it. And it says Symbiote Menace right there on the side. Nice image of Venom over there. And then on the back, you can see that image again. You can see that you get the swappable heads. There's a read up over there. If you want to read it, go ahead and pause it right now. Nothing on this side, on the top, or at the bottom. So let's get to it and crack this thing open. And here's our animated Venom figure out of the packaging. And I gotta say, in hand, this looks a lot cooler than I thought it looked from just seeing images online. We do get some accessories over here that I want to look at. So let's get a closer look at those, and then we'll take a closer look at Venom. So we get the two head sculpts and these two sets of interchangeable hands for Venom, and they mostly look pretty good. And I say mostly because I really like the sculpt of these, and you get some nails in there, and it looks like these are cast in a very, very dark blue plastic, right? You can see the midnight blue in there, and I do like the highlights, so that's pretty rad, but we're missing the white squares on the back, so that's a bit frustrating. Doesn't have the web shooter squares on the back of the hands. I like this hand because it's perfect for choking Spidey by the throat. Very cool looking fingernails right over there. And then you get these two fisted hands, which also look really good. I like the whole pattern of the right side having a lot more blue and the left side having more red. So I loved seeing Venom and Carnage in the Spider-Man animated series, and I felt like those characters were so new, especially Carnage, that it was just dope to see them in that cartoon, and I still think it's really cool. And I like that Hasbro went with the forked tongue head sculpt over here, even though he doesn't have the forked tongue all the time. I think it's cool to have something different over here, and I really like this head sculpt. This is my favorite one out of the two. Unfortunately, not all the paint apps are perfectly applied, as you can see, you know, a little bit right there missing, and then a little extra right over there, and then you can see this side looks pretty good. And it's an ample amount of paint wherever we have white sections too, so I like that. There's subtle texturing to the tongue right over here. Really dig that. And then you get some wrinkles right there on the back of the head. Again, you can see, maybe not so much of that blue I was looking at earlier. I don't know, I feel like there's a hint of blue here. Then here's looking at the second head sculpt that does not have the tongue out, and I like this one as well. So both very good looking head sculpts. They're almost the same, it's just one has the tongue out and the other one does not. And porting this Eddie Brock head right here from the previous Venom figure looks pretty good, I gotta say, even though in the cartoon his hair was brown. And by the way, my Street Humans Kickstarter is up there, and I have designed those ball joints where people can potentially use an Eros figure for a daytime Eddie Brock, you know what I mean? Just an idea. Yeah, you see where my mind's going. Anyway, you can see that we get some cool paint apps over here. While there are some imperfections, you can see a little bit of these streaking lines coming up and down on the spider logo right here, which doesn't really bother me much. It just makes me feel like they've added a lot of paint to it. It's almost like it's a sculpted layer, you know, there's so much of it, but I know it's the Omega Red body, which I'd been asking for a long time, so it makes me very, very happy to see. And then one thing you could do with the previously released Venom, or comic version Venom, is add the tendrils right here if you want to hide those empty ports on the very top. That works okay. This doesn't plug into anything specific on the back, but if you wanted to hide them with this piece, it doesn't really look too bad at all. Now, aside from these forearms, everything else again is pretty much Omega Red body mold stuff, and I really do like how these came out. And man, I don't know what it is about the cell shading, or, you know, just the overtones just look really cool, and I had a lot of fun with this figure. Now on the back of the figure, it looks weird because the spider symbol is kind of skipping the butterfly joints over here, and I think it would have looked worse if it went across the butterfly joints. So if you had to pick which direction, which way would you go? Break it up with the butterfly joints or just sneak around? And then you can see you get the Venom butt, and then you can see the back of the legs. They did add a little bit of paint. I appreciate that. Big old meaty calves, and then these legs look fantastic. Really, again, I love taking pictures of this thing. I had a great time. Of course, you can see we get the same Omega Red feet right over there, and we still have those peg holes. Now I'm going to go over the articulation, even though we've seen this body mold before, because it's free of any accessories added on top of it, so you can move the head up that far, which is really good. Is it popped off? Yeah. Okay, without it being popped off, you'll look up that far, which is still pretty good. You can move the head all the way down. You can turn side to side, and not much head wobbling right there. You get the beautiful butterfly joints, which sometimes feel like they get stuck a little bit, but still work out very well. And then, yep, see, stuck a little bit. And then you can move the shoulder outward that much, and then inward that far, rotate a full 360, bicep swivel. You get the double jointed elbows, all their hands turn side to side and move up and down. Ab crunch forward, ab crunch back, waist swivel, hips move outward that far, and he kicks forward that much, back that much, upper thigh cut, double jointed knees, then the ankles move down, up, and beautiful ankle pivot. Now to measure out this Venom figure, you can see that it is standing almost at 7.5 inches tall. And then here's Venom next to the latest Omega Red figure. I think I did end up switching the harnesses over here, but yeah, you can see there's a lot of similarities between these figures. Different heads, we get different forearms, different hands, and different knee joints, and aside from that, everything else is the same. Well, except for the paint apps, obviously. Then for a Hasbro Venom figure comparison, you could see one of the Hyperion body mold Venom figures right over here. I think this is the second one from Hasbro. And then we have our deluxe Eddie Brock Venom. And yeah, man, I gotta say thank you, Hasbro, for listening to my request and the request of many others that wanted to see Venom on the Omega Red body, and it is very satisfying. Out of these three, this is my favorite body mold for sure. And I'm curious about head swapping now. I want to see this extra large head over here, even though it's going to look weird without having the cell shading, and it's probably not... That looks ridiculous. Man, that looks silly too. Yeah, you don't really want to do that. He's got a tiny little head. And I want to see how that Hyperion head would look, or not the Hyperion head, but you know what I mean. It doesn't look bad. The head looks too small, you know. If I wanted to see this on here too, just to know what it looks like, and yeah, that head's just way too big for that figure. And then here's the new Venom figure next to my Pounds 978 movie custom figure to be a 616 Venom, and I still love this thing, but after having this in hand, I gotta say, I think this is actually the best body mold for Venom. I don't know, I really like this a lot too, but I feel like this is just a little bit more in that middle ground, right where the height should be is what I want to say. By the way, the quality on this thing freaking holds up amazingly. Pounds 978 Customs, link in the description below. In case you wanted to see one of the movie Venom heads on this figure right here. Wow, way to drop that. And that looks weird as hell. I don't really like it. Yeah, that looks bizarre. Then here's the new Venom figure next to my two favorite Toy Biz 6-inch scale Venom figures. We have the Amazing Spider-Man series Venom, and then we have the Fearsome Foes pack Venom figure right over here, or the Sinister Six pack, right? Yeah, I think it was the Sinister Six pack one. Thank you again, Danielle. And this is like right in between these two, right? Like this one's a little smaller, and this one's definitely larger, so I really like the scale of this figure. And then to demonstrate how hardcore Mafex dropped the ball on the scale of their Mafex Venom figure, you can see it next to the new Venom right here, and yeah, I just wish this thing wasn't so damn short. Ugh.
Venom party! I want to eat Mrs. Chen. I want to eat Mrs. Chen. I want to eat Mrs. Chen.
I want to eat Mrs. Chen. And then here's the retro Venom next to the symbiote Spider-Man from the 2-pack, I think. I'm not sure, but regardless, I cannot wait to get the updated version with the Vintage Collection body. Then here's our animated Venom next to the Vintage Collection retro Spider-Man figure, and yeah, these scale together perfectly. I had a lot of fun taking pictures of these two together. And then here's the Venom figure next to your average 6-inch scale figure. We have the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. Whoa, you got red on this side and then a little bit of blue on that side. It's like someone screwed up on your paint apps, huh? Kind of like with me and all this green, right? We're kind of like the same, huh? We're both like a couple of letdown, no? What? Really? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, show some love to this channel by simply clicking that like button. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. And a big thanks to all these people over here that support this content via the Tron and membership. If you're interested, check it out, link in the description below. And big thanks again to Troy Collects Toys for making this video happen. Another way to support this channel. Really appreciate it, man. Now this figure over here, I am really happy with it. Having the dual tone theme throughout, it's just really cool. At first, I wasn't really that excited for it, and I'm still going to wait for a repainted version of this figure. It's probably going to be a retail figure, you know, same body mold and everything, but without the blue and red, and I'm looking forward to that, even though Hasbro hasn't announced it. You know it, I know it, we all know that they're going to make that figure. So having this as a PulseCon exclusive, I think is a really cool idea. I think it works a lot. It may not be for everybody, and it's not a perfect figure. Doesn't have the white squares on the back of the hands, you know, it still bothers me, but still, I really like the figure a lot. And at the price point of around $32, I'm gonna give it a Sun rating of I love it. This was not a freebie. It was just a lucky chance that Troy was able to get a hold of this thing, and I'm very grateful to have it. Anyway, I want to know what you guys think of the figure. Let me know in the comments section below. If you want to see the latest Marvel news and a photo gallery of images, you can find it all over at marvelousnews.com. And if you want to stay in touch with me over on social media, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, and you can see Street Humans updates over on Kickstarter on the daily, and I will catch you guys later. Peace!
That's crispy.
Hey, new ShartimusPrime videos. Hey, you should click one. Yeah, click on one of them. Or subscribe if you haven't.